Hi, guys. Hello. Hi, Kaz. Hi, Michael. Hi, Juju. Hi, Grant. Yeah, I think that's everyone for now. How are you doing? Oh, no, there are more people. You're just not talking. um, oh, hi, Glacian. Hi, Darlene. Good to see you. Hi, Gord. So I'm back from Kyiv, and it looks like I'm soon going to have to go back to Kyiv. One is to film a test pilot, and two is to look at an apartment. Hi, John. Hi, Eminem. Oh, that's so funny. So there is an apartment in Kyiv that I really well. So here's the issue with apartments in Kyiv. You have to do a double deposit if you have dogs, and that's like everywhere, mostly. And I found a perfect apartment in Kyiv. And yeah, that's a lovely situation. Hi, John. Hi, Diane. Another auction. Oh, Chick-fil-A drive-through. Joseph from Texas. Oh, that's cool. Hello. How is Texas? What's going on in Texas? Oh my gosh. What's going on with the National Guard? Hi, Gabby. Hi, Grumpy. Hi, Odin. How are you guys doing? Texas is awesome right now. I don't know, Odin. Oh, Bob in Latvia. Hi. Hi. I love Latvia and Lithuania and Estonia. The Baltics are phenomenal. I'm obsessed with the Baltics, and you guys are just a godsend. You are fantastic. Hi, Kristen. So, how is everyone's day going? Before we dive into the news about Ukraine, how is everyone doing? I'm sorry, I'm like super tired. I've been traveling back and forth between Lviv and Lviv and Kyiv in the in the every week because I've been having like work things or a work thing and some other things. So I went to the 2 weeks to puppy day. Oh, that's so cute. Did you pick out the name yet? Did anyone help you pick out the name? So for some of you who know Rick, for most of you who know Rick, I saw Rick at the truck handover. So first of all, that was a very cool event. Like it was really cold and I could only stop by for like 30 to 40 minutes because I had a train in like an hour afterwards. So I stopped by to see what was going on. And it was actually really cool because I got there. And so for those of you who don't know, there are quite a few YouTubers who raise money for trucks for the AFU for a particular brigade, and they do it every month. And near Kyiv-Pecherska Lavra, so Kyiv Monastery of the Caves, I hate when people call it Kyiv Monastery of the Caves because like I know it's translated that way, but it just sounds so weird. So Kyiv-Pecherska Lavra, they hand off the trucks to the brigade there. And so Rick invited me to go see that handoff this time, and it was really cool. I stopped by. There were about 16 trucks, I think, and it was like a record number in one handoff. They're really cool. So like the thing about these trucks is what's really nice is that first of all, it's not just trucks. They also have like mattresses in there. They have scopes. They have drones. They have all of these like really like all this fancy night vision gear that they put on a lot of these trucks. And you can really tell that like so this is the initiative of the 69th Sniffing Brigade from NAFO. And there are a bunch of like really cool like stickers on these trucks, like die orcs and stuff. And Rick had his cat sticker on it on the truck. They have like a lot of really cute little details. Hi, Chad. Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you? Greetings from Portugal. Hello, and also hi Tara. I'm doing okay. How are you? I just came back from Kyiv again, and so because I've been doing this once a week, every week, I'm so incredibly tired because I mean, it's tiring commuting on an overnight train for a day and then to come back again is a tiring experience. So I'm not necessarily super, I'm not super happy with it, but it is what it is. I'm also looking for an apartment in Kyiv currently, and I'm running into this issue where basically all apartments require a double security deposit because I have dogs, and I get it, but it's just it's like so it's a lot, and I didn't expect that to be a thing because also so normally even the apartments that don't want pets will be like okay with my pets because they're French bulldogs and people are like, oh, so they just sleep all day, it's fine. But there is that. But still want the double deposit because what if the French bulldogs go rogue and destroy everything? So there's that. And thank you, Slim. So yeah, so it's just been like a very exhausting month. I haven't really been posting any videos or recording any videos. I sort of took January off. I mean, I've been doing streams every other day or so, but I kind of I needed to take some time off of like making more content, basically, podcast and everything, because it's been, yes, Jerry, hi. Because it's been, I don't know, I just needed a break, and it's been nice to sort of have that break because I got to spend a lot of time with family. I get to spend a lot of time with my dogs. I get to spend time sort of just, doing enjoyable things. And yeah, and now it's going to be February, and I'm going to go back into the rhythm of working. Also, on February 15th, I'm starting a new job in Kyiv, and yeah, and so it's kind of cool. Thank you, Mariana. So it's a media job, and I'll talk about it when it starts, or a little right before it starts. I'll tell those of you on Patreon earlier, obviously, but yeah, it's a media job in Kyiv in an English-speaking publication, and I'm really, really excited because I feel like I can actually change some things, and I can. I think the segment that I'm going to do is super up my alley. And also, it looks like there are lots of opportunities to bring in new material and do new segments and sort of just overall, I think it should be a really great experience. And I'm really excited to sort of have an outlet to talk about Ukraine and to do more news. And thank you, Chad. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited for this too, because so one of the largest issues with producing content is that I record it, I research it, I make it, I edit it, and especially I prefer long form content because I think that it does you more justice. But long form content also takes hours upon hours upon hours of editing. Like producing our podcast takes 3 days. And so it's kind of nice because in this situation, all of the production part is off of me and I'm not going to have to do it, except for maybe suggestions or certain things that I maybe would want to see and stuff like that, but I won't have to actually produce it myself, which is very good because that means that I'm going to be able to put out a lot more consistent content, because the only thing that's required of me is being me and talking about the topics that I find interesting and that I know a lot about. So I'm not going to have to, not going to have to do all all the busy work that's super difficult, and that should open up a lot more time for me to be able to do other things and other projects, which is really cool. And I find it super. So there is that. Yeah, I'm like umming a lot today, and I'm very low on energy, and I'm sure you can tell, and that's because I am. There's not much more I can say about that. So yeah, how is everyone doing? How is everyone's weekend? Because in the US, for you guys, you're just starting your weekend, and I'm finishing Saturday. Um, did you do anything fun? Do you have any fun plans for this weekend? How is it going? And then we're going to dive straight into the news because there is a lot that's been going on. Oh, wow. I need to do my readings for classes. You look full of energy, right? Better was sick most of the week. Sorry, that sucks. No, it's like totally weekend is fine. No, it's totally fine. Like I'm not complaining, I'm happy like I'm sort of happy that even through kind of taking a break, I've been having a lot of like little busy work to do or sort of like a lot of things to do. I think it's just like the issue is really the commuting to the commute to Kyiv that I have been doing every week, and I have to do it this week as well because I have to look at a bunch of places. And I'm just like tired because here's what it looks like. I get a train at, so you can take like an 8-hour train to Kyiv or like a 7-hour train to Kyiv. Yeah, 7-hour train to Kyiv. And it's like the express train, and it's a it's one of those like trains where you sit on it, not like it's not a sleeper train and not a sleeper car. But the issue with that train is that it's uh you don't sleep, you're just sitting, so that's annoying. So I take the overnight train. I take the train at midnight, or like there's a train at 12:12 basically, and I take that and I arrive in Kyiv at like 7 a.m. So then I sit at the train station until 7:45. At that point, I take a cab and I go to the breakfast place that I know of that opens, because nothing is open until 8 a.m. in Kyiv or really anywhere in Ukraine. So I take that, I go have breakfast, and then usually at around 11, I get to do the things that I came there to do. Then I have like some people to meet and things like that. And basically, I get an Airbnb, which, they're about $18, which is cool. So super affordable. Basically what I would pay for lunch in New York, not even lunch without coffee, like a sandwich with tip. And so I take an Airbnb, I sleep in Kyiv, and then I take a train either at 6 in the morning or at noon, and I get back to Lviv at 7 p.m. So that's like, it's a long commute. Thank you, Mariana. How much in Lviv? I don't know. I haven't rented an Airbnb in Lviv. But Lviv is kind of like more expensive than Kyiv in some regards now, because it's a lot of people have migrated here, right? A lot of people moved here. So Lviv is actually like, it used to be much more affordable than Kyiv. It really is not anymore. Arguably in some areas, Lviv is more expensive. And it's kind of crazy. Because for instance, meals, like I've gone out to eat in Kyiv to like restaurants, because to be fair, a dish for one person is, I don't know, about 300 hryvnias in Lviv. That's $10, but it's like like a really nice restaurant type of thing. And like a lemonade is 100 hryvnias, which would be like, I don't know, $3, I guess. So you end up paying $13 for a very, very nice meal. But in Kyiv, I've I went to this Georgian place and thanks, Sandberg. I went to this Georgian place and I was very sweet. I went to this Georgian place and I paid basically, I think like 120 hryvnias for 4 hinkali and like 120 hryvnias for a salad and the rest for the lemonade. And the bill was 350 hryvnias. And that's less than $10. I actually love that corgi. It's very cute. They need a French bulldog. They don't have a French bulldog, and that's really upsetting me. It's been upsetting me for the past 2 years. I don't understand how French bulldogs have taken over the world, but did not take over TikTok. So yeah, so in Kyiv, like food is cheaper in a lot of regards. It's funny because my dad was like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna move to Kyiv. You know, life is more expensive in Kyiv," and I'm like, I don't think so anymore. I really don't, because rent looks about the same in Kyiv as it does in Lviv, and you're actually getting much nicer places than you would in Lviv because there are not as many places in Lviv. So yeah. So there is that. Sir, where in Lviv? Where what? Nancy, you're going to be a little more specific. It's definitely more expensive, a lot more expensive, seriously. And it's also your renovations. Oh my gosh. You have to, I'm talking to a real estate agent, right? And he's like, "Oh, are you looking just at new builds or are you also looking at older buildings, but obviously with a reno?" And I'm like, I'm fine. A treasure box. It's a treasure box. What the heck is a treasure box? Sorry. Like, I don't understand these TikTok things. But what is that? So basically Euro renovations, that's funny, Taz, that you say that. But my real estate agent was like, "Oh, so are you looking at just like new builds or also old buildings?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't care as long as like, you know, it's like a simple design and stuff." Because what I've been finding is that people here love like making, I don't know, freaking like red kitchens and lots of wallpaper and murals and all of these like ridiculous decorations. And these apartments are made to be rented out. So the owners decide to put like peach walls in there and these like crazy murals. And I mean, like, I don't even know how to explain this to you, but so I was like telling my real estate agent that I'm like, okay, with old buildings, absolutely. I'm like super fine with like old buildings. I just need them to be simple, because in old Kyiv, they love these like ridiculous renovations with murals and red kitchens. And so he, as a joke, sends me this and goes, "So I take it you would love this apartment." Like, who did that? And most importantly, why? Like, look at this. Why? And this is a rental apartment, so it's not like someone owned it, left, and like, you know, made it for themselves and then decided to rent it out. Like, no, this is a made to be a rental apartment. Like, who, why on earth? And this is not a singular thing. Like, this is not something you see once in a while that's like an exception to all rules and you're just like, that's, you know, that's awful. No, this is like very normal. It's so normal to see these ridiculous kitchens, and everyone loves these. Everyone loves these like glossy, like cabinets and stuff, and glossy ceilings and glossy wallpaper. And I'm just like, I don't understand why. I also have astigmatism. I would not like live well in that apartment at all. But so there is an so I've been looking at so many apartments in Kyiv, and Kyiv is getting similar to New York, where in new builds, you have these like super boxy apartments that are very small for a budget of like, for basically like the general budget of like a normal place, but they're very small and they're in like a new build, right? And so you have like a doorman and all this stuff, but the apartment itself is really small. And so I haven't been able to find anything I liked, and I've been looking for a while. And so I found this apartment apartment. I'll show it to you. It's so nice. It's so nice. It's the one with the double deposit. Like, look at how pretty this is. Wait, okay. Okay, so bathroom is a lot, but it's fine. It's okay. So it has this like big closet in the foyer, which is normal for Ukraine. They all have like huge foyers, but then they'll have like a kitchen where you can't put anything, where you can't put a table in there, and then they'll have like a bedroom flex living room. But so this place, like, wait for it. It has like a normal sized bedroom. Okay. And wait, that's not it yet. It isn't. My favorite part about all of this is not this, no. Is like the living room area. It's so pretty. Stop laughing at me, Sandberg. Like, look at this. It's so pretty. And it's like, it doesn't have red kitchens. It doesn't have red kitchens. It's so simple. I'm in love with it. And it has a washing machine. And it works. Because my washing machine here, it works. But then it doesn't drain the water, so I have to drain it myself. Yucky kitchen, bachelor pad for sure. Not a botter. I am a bachelor. I live by myself and I barely cook. I'm fine with just like a microwave. Anyways. Yeah, so there are no dryers usually in Ukraine. Like, you'll have a washer and then you just you hang dry your clothes. So, but I'm okay with that. Also, this kitchen is fine. It has like everything. It has literally everything. It has an oven. It has a fridge. It has a dishwasher. It has a stove. Like, I don't know what your problem with the kitchen is. I love the kitchen. I love everything about that apartment. It's so nice. Okay. But I think it's time to do the news because I'm going to end up talking about the apartment for like the longest time. And then we're not going to get anywhere. So let me get to hang drying clothes is actually a common thing in Europe in general. Yeah, it is. It's super common. Very few people have dryers, but also, you know what? I thought that would be a problem. But I find that I actually like hang drying clothes because they don't get ruined nearly as often, and their quality stays like nice because you're not like machine drying it. Oh, hi Ian, good. How are you? Okay. So Russia is employing new tactics involving the use of drones and planning substantial attacks in Ukraine, states Humaniuk. In a recent night attack in the south, the enemy employed tactical tricks utilizing low-altitude drone flights over water to complicate detection by air systems. The drones approached residential areas while maneuvering among industrial zones. Can you stop laughing?
No, the dogs did a fall. It wasn't you.
The shift suggests an exploration of new tactics, potentially in preparation for significant future actions, according to Humaniuk. Also, your favorite, oh, hi, Teen Cat. Sorry. Hi. Oh, Swami. So this is your favorite nameless soldier, whose name I'm pretty sure I've said so many times at this point. But yes. So yeah, there is that. Deputy Prime Minister for European Integration, Stefan Lishina, held a meeting with European Commissioner for Enlargement, Oliver Vargey, regarding the launch of negotiations on Ukraine's accession to the EU. According to her, the meeting discussed the structure of future negotiations. So, I mean, like, here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of news about the EU negotiations, obviously, because that has been opened. Also, interestingly, I don't know if you've heard about this, but there have been a ton of protests starting like late December in in Slovakia against Fico, like Robert Fico, the super fascist guy who won the Slovakian election. He's far right, very Trump loving, very Putin loving, Ukraine hating guy. And so he's been trying to decommission and deorganize, not deorganize, kind of like, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting English and it like pisses me off so much. Disband. He's trying to disband the Commission for Fighting Corruption, basically in Slovakia, and people are obviously not having it. And so it was the largest protest in the capital since late December. It was on the 25th of January, and it was about, I believe, so I don't want to say the wrong figure, but I believe it was 27,000 people. That is a massive protest. It covered the entirety of the center of the. They're anti-FICO protests, and they're not protesting just against the law. They're not protesting against this particular activity. They're protesting against him, and they don't want him in the government, which is, reasonable. I don't want him in the government. I don't think anybody should want him in the government. I have no idea how he won. I mean, I do have an idea. It's likely, Russia's hand at it a little bit. They definitely helped his campaign, and it does look like, he's been using their tricks. Yeah. Oh, Armin's quote of the day is up. The best time to buy a home is always 5 years ago. Ray Brown, this is cynical, but it's also true. That's for sure. 5 years ago, everything was so much cheaper, but then I don't think that apartment existed 5 years ago, and I'm not trying to buy it. I'm trying to rent it. So there is that. France transferred 2 M270 LRU multiple launch rocket systems to Ukraine, French Ministry of Defense. So France and Germany have been stepping up hardcore to help Ukraine. Also, Bundeswehr, for the first time since World War II, is starting to draft a. Hi, Greg. Is starting to draft a defense plan for Germany for the first time since the Cold War. This is a big deal. I mean, because they fully understand, that with everything that's going on in the United States, especially with what's been happening in Texas, and Donald Trump basically saying, "Oh, screw the border, let's make it Joe Biden's fault and screw over Ukraine and not give them the aid package." Germany and France are freaking out, and Germany has a lot of ability to give Ukraine quite phenomenal weapons. And they still, I don't know if you've heard this, but there was a report made by a journalist, and the report stated that he had talked to higher ups in the Bundeswehr asking why they're still not approving Taurus missiles for Ukraine, and representatives of the Bundeswehr said that German missiles should never fall on Russian territory and on Russian land. And I was like, really? So if Russia was like bombing Berlin, like, would you have the same reaction? You would still not launch missiles onto Russian territory? Also, no one's asking for these for Russian territory. We are asking for these for to go far beyond Russia's front lines, for our own territory, for the liberation of our own territory. So yeah. Andriy Shevchenko has officially assumed the role of the new president of the Ukrainian Football Association, says Suspilna. Journalists report that during the extraordinary UAF Congress, all 93 delegates voted in favor of Shevchenko, the sole candidate for the position, with none voting against. Yeah, I mean, Shevchenko is, he's one of the most famous football players to ever come out of Ukraine. He has been a really good trainer for our national team, and I think he has a lot of respect and trust within the football community, so I don't see why he would not be president of the Ukrainian Football Association. Also, yeah, our allies must have a deep mistrust in us by now. Yes, they do. Hi, K-Bell. Yes, they do. And people are freaking out, and they're freaking out. Like, I mean, I'm starting to freak out. I thought that Congress would like play these back and forth games with each other, and the Republicans would just negotiate some ridiculous, like, barbaric deal at the border. And the Democrats would keep trying to like make it less barbaric, and Republicans would keep trying to make it more barbaric, and then they would meet somewhere in the middle. And at this point, I don't know. Like, I'm genuinely scared because if Ukraine does not get this help from the US, I mean, I don't know if Germany is prepared to step up as much as it needs to, or Europe in general. But if they don't, like, we're screwed. Like, we're genuinely screwed. And it's not, it's not just like, I'm not just saying that, like, it is quite a daunting feeling and quite daunting reality, because without the US help, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Britain and Sweden have joined the drone coalition, Ministry of Defense. Sweden and Great Britain have announced that they are joining a newly formed drone coalition. It was previously created by Ukraine and Latvia, which is really cool. I do love, so the Baltics have, well, Sweden is not Baltics, but Latvia is. The Baltics have been ridiculously helpful, and the Baltics have been stepping up for us like no tomorrow. Hi, Dave. If you don't know, Taz, is it like half a year or every year? I think it's every year. Basically, Lithuania, a country of like 2.7 or 2.9 million people, I just want you to understand how small of a country it is. They have been launching this fundraiser called Radarum to help Ukraine and to sort of buy us necessary systems like drones, radar systems, and stuff like that. So this year's fundraiser has been up for, I want to say, 3 to 5 days, and they're already at €1 million, which is, which is supplying over 100 soldiers. I don't want to say like, I want to say maybe like 130 or something. Taz will know the exact number, but so about 130 soldiers with defense kits, and those defense kits, include optics. They include defense systems, basically, and it's fantastic because it's such a great job, and it's such a fantastic thing to do for Ukraine. So this fundraiser runs from January 24th to February 24th, which is the anniversary of the full-scale invasion. And this year it's 10 years since the beginning of the invasion. 126 soldiers at this moment. So I was right. I was not that far off. I like that. In 2023, Russia imported more than 1 billion worth of modern American and European microcircuits, despite sanctions designed to prevent it from acquiring technology. It is noted that most of the imported semiconductors and integrated circuits for the first 9 months of 2023 were produced by American and European companies. I mean, it's not news that Russia avoids sanctions all the time, and US and other Western companies just let it in a lot of cases. In Germany, for the first time since the end of Cold War, the DPA agency will present an operational defense plan. According to the head of the territorial command of the Bundeswehr, Lieutenant General Andre Bodemann, the plan will encompass the actions of security forces and industry, measures to combat espionage, cyber attacks, sabotage, and the spread of disinformation and fakes. Which, by the way, there have been a lot of disinformation campaigns in Germany. There have also been Russian spies infiltrated in the German government, and they have been finding more and more and more influence of Russia and Russian propaganda in there. And that's not uncanny because, East and West Germany, there have been a lot of Russians living there. So Russians are incredibly infiltrated into the society and into the government and into all political systems, because there are just a lot of them, and they have a lot of connections, and a lot of them were KGB agents that stayed. So, according to the head of the territorial command, I just said that. The document is scheduled to be presented in April. The details of this classified document will be discussed on January 26th in Berlin at a meeting involving representatives from Germany's allied countries, German law enforcement agencies, public protection agencies, energy and logistics companies, scientists, and experts. According to the general, Germany's primary task is, in the event of a military conflict, will be to ensure the movement of allied military personnel and equipment through its territory. I've been trying to search out what military equipment China is giving Russia. Not much luck. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Всім привіт. It's really hard to find the exact. Equipment, but you can probably look up satellite imagery, because the only way that we can usually tell is by like debris and by taken down equipment that we find, and also by satellite imagery, because we can sort of like see what's been leaving and what planes and stuff like that. Rumors of fighter jet parts, yeah, that too. But we have been finding a lot of American and like just Western in general parts in Russian made weapons that have been made after all the sanctions kicked in. So they find numerous ways to circumvent those. The process of screening Ukrainian legislation for compliance with European law has officially begun in Brussels. This is what lays the foundation for negotiations on the country's accession to the EU. So one of these laws that's going to be screened and Europe is going to be like, what the fuck, is a law on the cryo facilities. I was actually I was talking about it today. Actually, wait. Can you come back?
Okay, 1 second.
So I was talking about this law today. So in Ukraine, soldiers who are active duty can choose to preserve their sperm in a sperm bank.
Oh, God.
In like a cryo process, right? In case they become disabled and can't have children naturally. So the idea behind this law is that it's for soldiers that might come back with a disability that prevents them from being able to have children. And I need you to remember that. I'm going to go to the bathroom very quick, and you can ask questions from your favorite Australian.
Serious?
Yes.
Serviceman.
So eat cake and ask questions.
I only came out to get cake.
Yeah, so
Okay.
eat cake and answer questions. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Eat cake and answer questions. Sounds great.
I don't really want to be here, guys. I'm just here to eat cake, so I guess ask what you want to ask. Hello. That's the cake. It is cheesecake. I'm sure that's what you guys wanted to know. They did. They both survived. I didn't make the cheese, Michael. I bought it from a bakery. I've only had the Australian MREs, not a Rat Packs. So I'm unsure. Oh, she's very bossy, Martin. I literally snuck past to go and get the cheesecake, and then I'm dragged into this. No, I'm not Yulia's Sir TDS. I don't think she can cook, to be honest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know how to cook.
No, I'm not done yet. Oh, this.
Blue, so I'm assuming like a blueberry.
Yes, it is a blueberry.
No, I left the bedroom glitter. I was literally just going to the kitchen to get some cake, and I got dragged into this.
Stop whining.
Nothing really, Alice. I like Ukraine. I much prefer it here.
Because every day you tell me that one thing you don't like about Ukraine is me.
You're growing on me. You're not that bad.
Phenomenal.
Well, we could go ahead as you now. I think you're like,
Are you done with your cake?
No, it's still half a cake.
Mm.
You want some?
No. I want my honey cake, but thank you.
Yeah.
Also, like, you might want to eat the blueberries because they're the only healthy thing here.
Okay. Everyone, Yulia's going to have one bite of this cheesecake and then I'm leaving. I'm not leaving until you do this.
No, I don't want the cheesecake though. Like, leave me alone.
You
I don't want the
Fine. Do you want...
I don't want the freaking cheesecake.
Fine.
I don't want the blueberry either.
This is my life.
Thank you. This is not your life. Go on.
You want me to leave? Cheesecake.
No.
Half.
I don't want the cheesecake. God damn it. I don't want it. Also, I'm not gonna eat it after you just like slobbered all over it.
All right. See you, everyone. Sorry, Rookies.
Hello. I'm back. Oh, man. Okay. You're eating cheesecake from a bakery and Russians are freezing in darkness and starving. How great it is to be Russian. Muscular Yulia took over. Oh man. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So basically, the only reason this like service exists in Ukraine for like freezing sperm and sperm banks for soldiers is because they might get injured and not be able to have children, right? Stay with me here. So a lot of the soldiers who have done that died, right? And so this law somehow did not account for the fact that the only person who can decide what to do with that sperm after they die is the person who died. So all of the facilities store, one second. And the facilities store these, basically the semen after the death of a soldier, and it's really expensive. And so no one can do anything about it. Like their wife can't take it, like no one can, because there is not like a procedure for it. So that was like a really big loophole in the law. And so they decided to fix the loophole. And they basically made it so now that if you die, the sperm bank just disposes of your semen. So they didn't fix anything. The wives still don't have access to it. It just gets disposed of. Unless you basically do like a power of attorney beforehand, but then you have to like do it through the cryo facility to begin with. And it's just like, there is not really a legal precedent for it in a way in Ukraine. And they're supposed to like call the next of kin or like whatever, or the wife, and figure out what to do with it and before they like dispose of it. But then there is no like legal precedent for it. And also the cryo facilities are not gonna, how are they gonna find out that the particular serviceman had died in combat? So it's just like, there is a lot of mess with this law. And I don't think that they had fixed the actual issue at hand to begin with. So I think it's so ridiculous. And I think it's crazy that, you know, if a soldier dies, their wife like has no access to that, to the bank, and can't decide what to do, because what's the point of like, what is the point? You know, the entire point is that if they can't have children on their own, they have this as their other option. And so when they die, the wives might still want to have their children, right? So it's just such a crazy thing. And there are so many like different things that need to be figured out in this law. And they constantly keep solving like one problem at a time, but solving the one problem creates other problems. And I just like find it really, really upsetting, especially because they created that law and really like came up with a procedure of how to pay and who's going to pay the cryo facilities for storage, right? So there's just like a lot of mess in there. Howdy y'all. Hi. We are doing good. And Angel, I swear what I'm gonna do is after this stream, I'm going to post the total for the fundraiser for on my Twitter. I can't look up. I think I saw a notification, and so because you're asking, I'm assuming it's a PayPal from you. So I am. Oh my gosh! Congrats, Not a Botter. I know you guys wanted this for a while. I'm using this phone because the phone that has like PayPal on it and everything, because I don't remember my login to my backup TikTok account, and my normal TikTok account is banned from going live. Thank you so much. That's really, really sweet. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna start like really doing everything super, like, I'm gonna get back into my routine, like starting February 1st or like a little before that. Because I've just kind of been, it's been a difficult January in a way of like a lot of things to do. Do you know when you will be able to go live on your main account? Yes, the 31st at night. Because of the gun thing the other day. Yeah. Yep. Exactly because of that, Martin. Okay, the hit of an enemy projectile next to a Ukrainian soldier in a forest near Kreminna has been recorded on video, so I'm going to show it to you. Okay. Cindy. Okay, you need to settle. Oh, cat. Wait. I see cat. Oh, you can't see it. It's so bad. Wait, one sec. Okay, here. Sorry. Cindy is like, making it very difficult. Here. Hi, Truthful. Wait. Hi, Truthful. Did you realize what happened? Oh, so this is... So an enemy Russian projectile landed right next to the soldier, and he was able to catch it on camera because I'm assuming he's wearing a body cam, which is a GoPro. Also, for those of you who didn't realize what I was saying, congrats to... Oh, thank you, Truthful. Congrats to Not a Botter. Is him and his wife have been wanting a baby for a while, and they've been... they've been basically working on that, and so apparently his wife is 12 weeks pregnant. So that's very good news. So congrats to Not a Botter and Mrs. Not a Botter. So there is that. Sini. Sinona. Hi, Baba. Hi, Bubbies. Oh my gosh, Liv's face right now is so mad. 20 Days. Have you watched 20 Days in Mariupol? It won a film award. Yes, I did watch 20 Days in Mariupol, and it's a film that it's a documentary that I recommend everyone watches, but also it is an incredibly difficult, incredibly painful documentary to watch. And I think everyone should watch it. Yes, it was nominated for an Oscar, and I really hope it wins, because it is what those journalists did by staying in Mariupol, what Mstislav Chernov, Yevhen Malaletka, and their partners did, and stayed in Mariupol and recorded everything that was happening there, was one of the most like heroic things anyone has done, really, in journalism. And it's one of a kind, and I think their dedication to showing people exactly what was happening is admirable on a lot on a lot of levels. But it's a really, really hard watch. It's a hard watch. It's a very emotional film. Like, it doesn't have like gory details, right? But it does have. It's a very emotionally draining and a very emotionally difficult watch. So yeah. So I do have a fantastic interview with the director of 30 Days in Mariupol. It's on my podcast. It's called The Press Lounge, and on one of my podcasts, it's called The Press Lounge, and the interview is with the director. I interviewed him in New York behind the scenes of one of the showings of the documentary. France is reportedly ready to purchase long-range Taurus missiles from Germany to boost the supply of Scalp missiles to Ukraine. Hi, Maddie. This is according to Bloomberg. This move aims to address Chancellor Scholz's concerns about German long-range weapons being used for strikes on Russian territory. Simultaneously, it would enable Ukraine to receive more long-range weapons from allies without depleting their own stocks. While the Ministry of Defense of Great Britain neither confirmed nor denied the information, the French President Macron's administration denied negotiations on the exchange of Taurus for Scalp. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius, in an interview with Welt, stated that he was not aware of such negotiations, saying, "If negotiations are taking place, they're not in my ministry." But also, here's the thing. Sometimes these things are pure rumors, and sometimes the reason why they deny them is because they don't want Russia to know. So at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to know. But also, I do know that Europe is stepping up their support. Really, they're seriously stepping up their support, and that Europe is terrified. Europe does not want to end up stuck in World War III. They want to prevent it. Someone's asking, do you have kids or do you want kids? I don't have kids and I don't want kids. Yulia, how are we on the fundraiser? So Alice, I just said I will this time actually post an update on Twitter. The reason why, so there have been 2 donations, one from Enhil and one from Kat. I did not see the amount from Enhil, but I did see the amount from Kat. So that was $30. And I will add that to the total. We were at about $4,000, a little over $4,500, and I can't see the exact amount. Actually, you know what? Give me a second. You were just gonna have to chill for a sec. On TikTok, I can't see, so I just need to. Okay, so give me 1 second. Here and here. So we are. Oh, sorry. We are at $4,560 for the fundraiser. So that is a $63, not 60, but $4,563. Jesus Christ. Alice, did I see? I might have not seen that. Okay, I will check. I don't get notifications from Venmo, but if it was during a live, then I definitely saw it and I definitely added it. But I will look and I will let you know. Hello. No, it was just randomly sent. Okay, so then I probably didn't see it, and I will have to add it to the total as well. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Okay, Ukraine will start building 4 nuclear reactors this year, the energy minister told Reuters. All 4 will be built at the Khmelnytsky NPP. Interesting. You got a kid in your lap. Yes. Well, Cindy is a child. She's a 4-pod child. What, you heard that 4 nuclear reactors are going to be built in Khmelnytskyi?
Yeah, that plant, that's
Yeah.
the town I live in.
Yeah.
So they're all being built in the town I live in.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I only knew of one being built.
No, 4 nuclear reactors this year.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you want to comment on that? Because you literally live in that town.
I only knew of one being built.
Yeah, okay, but like, do you have
Crazy.
anything to say?
They're literally, I think they've got 2 right now, so they're going to be tripling the size of the nuclear power station. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good on them.
I mean,
We
listen, Zaporizhia is like occupied, so you know they need, and Khmelnytskyi is far from like Russia.
I've literally got footage on my phone of the Shahed drones over this nuclear power station.
Do you have that? Can you show it to us?
Yeah. You can't see it because it's nighttime, but you can see like the explosions directly above the power station.
He has footage of that, and he never mentioned anything.
Yeah.
It's just...
Here we go. 2 videos. I don't know which one's which,
Gimme.
but this is the town. When I turn to the right, so that's above the town. But I'll go to the right. Maybe it's the other video. I can't really see much. I think it's the other video. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's see other one. So in this one, you'll see some explosions to the right, and you'll see a bunch of like red lights in the ground. That's the nuclear power station. So here, that's the nuclear power station right here. Oh. Where is it?
I don't see any Shaheds.
Well, watch it on here first. So let's make sure I got the right spot. See all those explosions going off in the sky? That's the air defense shooting down the Shaheeds right above the nuclear power station.
Okay, so
That just went off.
sounds Aussie. He is Aussie. No, this is not Zaporizhia. This is Khmelnytskyi. It's the nuclear power plant that apparently has 2 reactors now, but will have 6 by the end of this year.
Yeah, so that's like the air defense literally
Mhm.
blowing up Shaheeds above the nuclear power station. So
That's not fun.
yeah, and they never talk about the Russians trying to attack the nuclear power station. That's literally drones directly above the nuclear power station being blown up.
Yeah, but they
It's-
always try to attack nuclear power stations.
But I haven't heard about it since like the Zaporizhia.
Can you take child?
Come on, child. Come with
No,
me.
you gotta pick her up.
No, come on, child. Come on.
You have to pick
Come
her
on.
up. She's not just gonna follow you. She likes sitting in my lap.
Ugh.
You know that's. Oh. Okay.
Come on, doggies. Leave mum alone.
Oh my gosh, Grumpy says Sandberg is from the southern U.S. I've heard his accent. Oh my gosh, come here, come here. Do you want to hear the most atrocious thing on the planet? Do you hear the most atrocious thing on the planet? He's a soldier. Can you do a southern accent like you were trying to do yesterday?
Howdy, partner. I know. What else did I say?
Sandberg has children.
Howdy, partner. Does Sandberg want children?
Are you offering Alice?
Well, this one's about 5 months along.
No, I'm not. Ew. Gross.
No, just
Also-
to clarify, that's not mine. That's I don't know whose it was. I don't think she knows either. But 5 months along.
Sure. Can you do another bit of a your phenomenal southern accent skills?
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Hey guys,
What did Alice say?
someone from the south, could you like tell him?
Oh,
Can you say roll tide?
what am I saying?
Roll tide.
Roll Tide.
If someone is from Alabama, like enjoy.
Ma'am.
No,
What?
here.
Oh. Well, bless your heart. That's not really a southern. Well, bless your heart. I don't know. I can't do accents. Bless your heart. Hey, y'all. How you going? Bless your heart. Yankee Doodle Dandy.
He was like telling me yesterday that he thinks he has a pretty decent Southern accent, and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, y'all.
Well, I'll be damned.
Well, I'll be damned. Howdy, I'm from Texas, y'all. Well, I'll be damned.
Are there any Irish people on here? Someone, please, because there is a debate to settle here. There is a debate to settle here. There's no twang or drawl.
I'm too aggressively Australian to do any
You're
accents.
way too aggressively Australian. That was painful. Literally, everyone from America is like losing their
painful.
shit.
Can I go yet?
Wait, yes? Wait, someone's Irish? Okay. What? How do you say that Irish people say F-U-C-K-E-D?
Fucked.
No one says that.
Well, it'll be fucked.
No one says that.
That's how they say it. They say fucked.
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
They do.
no
They
one
say
says that.
fucked.
No one says fucked.
They say fucked.
No one says that.
You're fucked in the head if you think they don't fucking say that. See? They say fucked.
No one says that. Literally no one. No one says that. You're fucked if you think
That's literally all Irish people say. Thank you, Mr. Fox.
They totally say that? No, they
They
don't.
do. See? Everyone is agreeing.
Not everyone.
Yeah, I think the only Irish person you know isn't, like, full Irish.
That's not the only Irish person I know. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
is saying
YouTube
fucked.
Conor McGregor. Okay, that is like the worst representation of an Irish
I love
person.
Conor McGregor.
I'm Scottish. They do. I'm Scottish.
Wait, if I can get some Conor McGregor quotes, I can probably pull off an Irish accent. Give me a second. Even
man.
Conor McGregor says fucked. McGregor.
Hi, Darlene. It is so good to see you.
Why do you invite me onto this live when I'm hiding?
I don't know why I invited you on here. Forget about it is best I can do for New York. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Hey, can't you see I'm walking here?
I'm walking here.
I'm walking here, buddy.
Okay, first of all,
I wrote
can
it
you
with
stop
buddy.
yelling?
I need to. It's how I do the voice. Americans are so loud.
No.
When have you ever heard a quiet American? They're all loud and obnoxious. No offense, Americans. It's true.
What a roommate. He's not a roommate. Oh no. That man's leaving for the front tomorrow and I don't have to deal with this Australian bullshit anymore. Simbury, I'm highly offended.
Sorry, Alice. I won't look after your children then.
Okay, so the Russians targeted Kherson with an S-300 missiles during the night.
Goodbye.
A kindergarten, a high-rise building, and a shopping center were damaged by enemy fire, resulting in one woman being injured. Russia did not provide the UN Security Council with evidence that there were Ukrainian prisoners of war on board the IL-76 and rejects the demand for an international commission to investigate. Surprise! So here's the thing. There is quite a bit of evidence, however, that this plane was carrying missiles and explosives. First of all, there is a phone call recorded that was allegedly between like the rescue operation services or like first responders and like military, and they called saying that they need to get an X amount of teams to the crash site because the plane crashed. And the first responders were asking like, oh, what kind of plane? And they were like, oh, cargo. And so to the question of what it was carrying, they said explosives and missiles. So they were telling them like what kind of what they need to bring to attend to this crash. So then another thing is there is absolutely zero evidence that Ukrainian prisoners of war were on board that aircraft. And if they were, then Russia would have used them as human shields to protect their missiles, which is a huge violation of human rights. But I mean, not that Russia cares about human rights. Another thing is there is no evidence that a missile hit the plane. It looked like the plane exploded in air. So likely, if the plane was carrying missiles and then or explosives, then one of them exploded and took the plane down. Also, the plane was moving away from Ukraine, so it stopped in Belgorod to refuel, and then it was moving north. So it wasn't moving towards Ukraine. So it would make no sense that there would be Ukrainian prisoners of war on board an aircraft that just came in to bring in so if this plane came in to bring in prisoners of war, why was it flying north and not just staying in Belgorod? Also, Russians are saying there were 65 Ukrainian POWs on board, and Ukraine just killed them with a missile. Meanwhile, the only bodies brought to the morgue were 5 bodies, and that is the number of crew that was supposed to be on board. Russians said that it was 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war and 10 guards or something like that, or 3 guards. Meanwhile, for every exchange before that, if a plane was involved, they would have 20 guards for 50 POWs because they did not want Ukrainians to hijack the plane. So they said that, so that's just ridiculous because they would never have like 3 or 5 or 10 guards for 65 POWs when they normally put 20 for 50. That just makes no sense. So yeah, it doesn't look at all like Russia has any evidence to back up that there were POWs on board this aircraft. And obviously Russia is not going to let an investigation take place. The US is actually incredibly interested in what had happened. And the US is helping Ukraine with joint effort to find out the details of the crash of the IL-76. And of course, it's really hard to do without Russia's cooperation. And Russia is just using this to blame Ukraine in something that Ukraine didn't do. Another thing is that Russian officials had a statement about this airplane ready 5 minutes after the crash, which normally it takes hours to come out with this statement because you don't really know what happened. And they had a statement ready for the press 5 minutes after the crash. So, lots of random things happening here that are just not adding up. As per usual, Ukraine did, though, return the bodies of 77 more fallen defenders. The coordination headquarters from the treatment of prisoners of war informed that the armed forces of Ukraine will ensure the transportation of bodies to specialized state institutions for further transfer to law enforcers and forensic experts who will establish the identities of fallen defenders. German defense minister has promised Ukraine air defense systems, tanks, special equipment, and ammunition. Boris Pistorius announced his country's plan for supplying Ukraine with arms in 2024 during the 18th meeting of the Contact Group on Ukraine's defense in the Ramstein format. The list includes air defense systems, IRIS-T SLM, Gepard anti-aircraft tanks, more than 80 Leopard 1A5 main battle tanks, additional artillery systems with ammunition in the amount of more than 230,000. Heroyam Slava. Armored personnel carriers, engineering tanks and bridge building tanks, 450 protected vehicles, demining systems, drones, radar systems, reconnaissance systems. This year, the Bundeswehr also plans to train 10,000 more Ukrainian soldiers at its training grounds. The novelty will be the delivery of 6 Sea King Mk-41 multi-purpose helicopters with spare parts starting in the second quarter of 2024 and training of pilots by that time. That is actually very good. We do need more helicopters, and Sea King is a really, really good helicopter. Maddie says, why wouldn't Russia have announced the return of Ukrainian POWs rather than risking a downed plane? Exactly. Also, every time there has been an exchange of POWs, Russia would tell Ukraine that there is a plane coming, and at that time, and like whatever, so Ukraine wouldn't try to strike it. This time, Russia did not let Ukraine know. So again, if they're saying that they had POWs aboard this aircraft, then they would have deliberately used them as human shields, and they would have deliberately not told Ukraine. And I think that the reason why they're saying that there were 65 POWs aboard this aircraft is because you know how Azov POWs haven't been exchanged in over a year? So unfortunately, likely a lot of them are in a horrendous condition. A lot of them are probably mutilated. A lot of them are probably dead. And Russia needs to cover that up somehow. So I think that the reason why they're saying there were POWs aboard is because they're trying to cover up for what they have done to the Ukrainian POWs that they're not planning on ever returning. Ukraine is fighting 2 wars against Russia at once, at the front and on the territory of Russia itself. The second one may prove to be a game-changer strategy for hitting Russia where it hurts. This is evidenced by the UAV attacks on an oil and gas refinery and an oil export terminal near St. Petersburg, says The Spectator. This operation by the Ukrainian defenders has severely dented Russia's ability to produce and export fuel, the journalists explain. Effectively, those Ukrainian-made drones have proved more successful at enforcing their own violent brand of sanctions on Russia's hydrocarbon trade than all the West's failed efforts to cap prices and embargo Russian exports. The magazine writes, adding that Ukraine is able to make this war too expensive for Vladimir Putin by using UAVs and long-range missiles. Currently, about 40% of the Russian economy is operating for the war. Most of the costs are covered by oil and gas sales. That is why the infrastructure on the territory of the aggressor country has become an ideal target for Ukrainian drones. This primarily includes pumping stations, terminals of special port facilities, and oil refineries. All of these large industrial facilities are conveniently filled with flammable products. Russia has one structural vulnerability that Ukraine does not have. Its vast territory and scattered infrastructure make it possible to protect every pipeline, plant, and bridge, the article stated. So yeah, there is that. And the reason why Ukraine... Oh yeah, so Greg also adds that in the ill catastrophe, in the ill downing, in the ill crash, the flight log listed Ukrainian POWs that had been returned months before. Yeah, that is true as well. So a lot of the names of the Ukrainian POWs on the list of people on board of that aircraft were POWs that had been in Ukraine for months now. And yes, Ukraine is deliberately targeting Russia's infrastructure, especially oil and gas infrastructure, because that is also what sponsors Russia's war. And the more of that we can take out, the less Russia is going to be able to continue the war. So yeah. The exchange of cruise missiles with the UK to assist Ukraine is an effective option, says Sarah Nanny, defense policy spokesperson for the Green Party parliamentary group in the German parliament. Rather than continuing discussions, it is better to make such a decision. Ukraine needs rapid and certain supplies to be able to defend itself. Everything that helps should be done, stated Nani. Denmark will allocate $8.75 million to Ukraine to support the fight against corruption, and the EU will contribute $10.21 million, announced the head of the Foreign Ministry of Denmark, Lars Løkke Rasmussen. Rosneft Tuapsin refinery halted oil processing and oil products production on January 25th due to an attack by Ukrainian drones, as reported by Reuters, citing industry sources. So yeah, so Ukraine basically just gives them a really hard time, and Ukraine targets these facilities. So as I said earlier, so Russia does not have that production capability. Oh my gosh, Sandberg, no one took the freaking pregnancy seriously. You know what? You were like watching TikTok videos? Keep watching TikTok videos. He's like instigating here. He's just trying to be, Sandberg. Oh my gosh, what was I on? Ukraine invites Chinese leader Xi Jinping to participate in the Global Peace Summit in Switzerland, Deputy President Yulia said. The United States, in close cooperation with Ukraine, is conducting an investigation into the IL-76 crash in the Belgorod region to ascertain all the facts of the plane wreck. Deputy spokesman of the U.S. State Department, Vedant Patel, mentioned at a briefing that the Russian Federation is making efforts to complicate the verification of data. It is incredibly difficult to carry out an investigation with the participation of the Russian side, and it is impossible to rely on any independent coverage of the situation because there are simply no free media in Russia. So we continue to work closely with our colleagues in the Ukrainian government to establish the facts and find out exactly what happened, Patel stated. Belgium and Ukraine signed 6 documents on the commencement of cooperation in the defense industry. Thank you, Belgium. Representatives of 33 Ukrainian and 8 Belgian companies, the Belgian Security and Defense Industry Association, BSDI, as well as representatives of the governmental defense and security sectors of both countries, took part in this meeting. That's actually very awesome. And Belgium is, a great partner because Belgium also doesn't like butt into conflicts, but Belgium has been on Ukraine's side from the very beginning, obviously, because it's not necessarily a conflict, it's a brutal invasion. Ukraine is defending itself, but Belgium is, similar to Switzerland in these issues usually. So it's nice that Belgium has been so effective in helping us. The EU is preparing for the fact that the agreement on the transit of Russian gas through Ukraine, which expires at the end of the year, will not be extended. According to the interlocutors, the European Commission argues for this by the fact that even the countries most dependent on Russian supplies, such as Austria and Slovakia, will be able to find alternative sources of supply in the event of a cessation of supplies. Well, the sooner Russia stops supplying gas to Europe, the better, because the less money is going to go to Russia for said gas. So, the US plans to deploy nuclear weapons in the UK as the threat from the Russian Federation grows, said The Telegraph. This will happen for the first time in 15 years. That is a huge deal, and I'm sure I do not have to explain why. Russia attacked Slovyansk, as reported by city's mayor. An enemy missile struck a ceramic workshop, causing near total destruction. Adjacent high-rise buildings on Darwin Street, including a kindergarten with a social canteen, were also affected. Fortunately, authorities state that there were no casualties resulting from the attack. The main intelligence director of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine has reported another successful cyber attack in Russia. The entire IT infrastructure of IPL Consulting, a company specializing in information systems for Russian industry, was destroyed, according to main intelligence directorate. And all Russia could show for itself is an attack on Kyivstar, where it was down for a couple of days. Or no. The specified company presented itself as one of the most modern Russian enterprises, which provided assistance in the implementation of information systems to institutions engaged in the design, production of automobile and aviation components, heavy engineering, production of equipment and devices, particularly in the interest of the Russian defense and industrial complex, stated main intelligence directorate. The devastating attack against IPL Consulting was executed by main intelligence directorate specialists. The cost of the digital array of data lost by Russia is being calculated. In the conditions of ongoing sanctions pressure against Russia, the damage inflicted on the enemy is extremely painful. In addition, dozens of Russian companies that work for the defense of the aggressor state will suffer. Aw, sad. Today is also the International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and it kind of strikes a chord, provided that Ukraine is going through a genocide right now by Russia. So, it's like I don't really have much to really say on this topic, but it really sucks, especially when you talk to people who are in occupied territories and they kind of live in concentration camps, well, filtration camps. So it's it just you can just visualize and understand it more than you thought you ever could or ever wanted to be honest. According to the Telegraph, Russia is reportedly planning to continue its military efforts for another 3-4 years, evident from the intensified development of its military production. The aggressor country is repurposing former shopping centers, bakeries, and other civilian infrastructure into weapons factories. Since February 22, there has been a substantial increase in tank production by 560%, infantry fighting vehicles by 360%, and armored personnel carriers but by 350%. The Telegraph highlights that occupiers aim to produce 2 million artillery shells annually though the current production scale may not be sufficient for a comprehensive offensive in 2024. And the more sanctions come out and the more things happen, the harder it is going to be for Russia to do. And that is what I have for you for today. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to go eat. Thanks for continuing through my run. It was hard as I kept laughing. Well, see, that's laughing is Sandberg's fault. But I'm gonna go eat my honey cake, and I shall see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for being on the stream, and thank you for the donations, especially to Kat and Health. And I'm going to post an update. Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Good night.